Branch in Barnsley.
Hooray!
Morning, comrades. I don't know about you, but I didn't come into the public sector for a big fat pension, because it doesn't exist. I came into the public sector because I care about people, and I really thought I could make a difference. Because the reality is, pensions are even worse if you're female. Half the female pensioners that have worked for the NHS receive a pension of less than £3,500 a year. That's hardly gold-plated. Compare that to bosses of Britain's largest companies who have an average pension 34 times bigger than ours. And as for public sector pensions not being affordable to the country, if it closed today, the local government pension scheme could still pay its liabilities for the next 20 years without any funds. In fact, the Treasury gets £2 billion more in NHS contributions than it pays out every year. So considering the fact that our pensions were revised 5 years ago to take into account for the fact that we're living longer, which is what we're being told is why we need to cut our pensions, leading to a 25% cost reduction then, and taking into account for any funding gaps, which there aren't, and considering the fact that we're already suffering with unprecedented job losses and pay freezes, is it fair to then ask us to increase our pension contributions by an average 3% and to work longer for less? No, it isn't fair that we should pay the price for the banking sector's reckless risk-taking and excessive greed that caused this recession in the first place, and who are still getting bonuses. And all that will happen is that lower income workers will pull out of the pension scheme because they can't afford to pay these increased contributions. They'll then have to claim state benefits when they retire, and that's going to cost the taxpayer a lot more in the long run. Lastly, I'd like to say, everybody that's crossed the picket line this morning, I hope when they retire, before when they're due to retire, they're wondering why they're having to work 4 years longer.
Well said.
Lastly, no, it isn't fair, it isn't right, and we have to stand up and say no. Enough is enough. You're taking everything else, hands off our pensions.
Well said.
Thank you, Alison.